All right. Let's talk a little bit about your attraction to the genre, the chiller genre.
Yeah.
What attracted you to providing those stories for kids and families?
I think it goes back to what I read when I was growing up. I was always fascinated with ghost stories and haunted house stories. And I was the kid, I would go to the library at my elementary school, and I would find, I'd go through and I'd find a scary book. And then, of course, I didn't think my parents knew about this, but I had my dad's flashlight from his toolbox underneath my pillow, and I'd scare myself silly with these stories with the sheet over my head, and I'd think, oh my gosh, I'm never going to do this again. I'm so scared I can't even sleep. And then, of course, the next night, where was I? What was I doing? And I think it was just the stories, just the ability to read, scare yourself silly like that, and know that you're safe. Close the book, and then find another one, whether it's a haunted house story or a werewolf story. Those I've always just been fascinated with that genre.
The thing about writing a series, I've done a lot of research on reluctant readers and how you, and actually the book series is really hailed as the thing. If you can hook a kid on that first one and draw them through, you create readers.
Yeah, and I try to do that with I link the stories in the Michigan Chillers and the American Chillers. They're all linked together. Now they stand alone. You can read number 22 and then jump back to number 17. But what I do is at the end of all the books, the main characters solve this mystery, and then they meet the main character for the next story, and he or she says, "Well, if you think that was just a crazy adventure you just had with this sea monster, well, wait till you find out, what happened with these insects and me, and then that." And the reader gets the first few chapters of the next book, kind of like a tease to let them know what's coming next. So, and it hopefully that leads them into either the next book, or they might think, I'm not interested in that. I'm going to find something else.
You're really inside the heads of kids. You get kids, and you have this connection because I've seen you interact with children. What is it about that and your books and you that is magic?
Well, I don't necessarily, I can't say I really did this consciously, but I always put myself in the story. It's like, what would I do in this situation? So it doesn't matter if the main character is like a boy or a girl, and but it's like, and what would I envision myself doing? How would I solve this problem? The other thing too, and I think this is really important, is I never really sat down to write for kids. I really considered it writing about kids. What is it about kids? What is it about this event? What is it about this scene that is exciting, that's scary, and what is it that this situation needs for this person to continue on with the story and ultimately solve the great mystery?
We're focused very much on the importance of literacy as a social justice issue and what not being able to read it means in the life of a human being. Talk a little bit about the importance of getting kids reading and really drawing them into a literary life.
Yeah. The thing about kids is that at that age, just, early on, and I'm talking kindergarten, first grade, second grade, kids don't really realize or understand how important reading is going to be. And actually, I wonder if they even really care, but they are concerned about having fun. So I think the earlier kids are reading and enjoying reading for pleasure, the better chances of hooking them into becoming lifelong readers. That's what happened with me. I mean, my parents read to me. I was excited with these stories. It made me want to become a reader. And I think I was reading at an early age because I wanted to be like my mom and my dad. I wasn't thinking about, if I read well, I'm going to get into this college or I'm going to be a success later on in life. I thought, oh my gosh, I want to read a ghost story. I want to read about a haunted house. I want to read something like this. And I think if it's presented in a fun way for kids, they learn without realizing they're actually learning, and it becomes something that really can be cultivated as a lifelong love.
What you working on now?
Michigan Chillers number 21, Boyne City Bigfoot Beast, is about set to release, and I'm really excited about it. I've always wanted to write a story about Bigfoot, but it seemed like I just never really had that theme that I wanted, and I came up with this idea with the kids at a park, Lake Charlevoix, Boyne City. And it's an exciting story. It'll be out in a couple of weeks.
That's all I need. We'll get out of the way so they can do their stuff.